Welcome back to the Alpha Plug channel, your hub for fight news and pop culture news. My name is Techno, and I'm here with the one, the only, Most Wanted. Thanks for coming on, Most.
I appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me on, man. It's a pleasure to be on your guys' platform for sure.
It's good to always talk a lot of Misfits fighters, get them on here, get the promotion out because a big problem we have in the influencer boxing community is the fact that not many fighters are going to promote their fights. Apart from the KSIs and the Jake Pools who have big followings, promotion is one of the most important things a Misfits fighter has because they need to get themselves bigger. If you want bigger opportunities, you've got to promote yourself, and you're obviously someone who's not afraid of promoting himself. So, I have to respect you for that.
No, I appreciate that, man. For real, man. I've always had a big mouth, so I guess it comes naturally for me.
Fair enough. But for now, let's get plugged in. So, what inspired you to get into influencer boxing, and who would you say your main inspiration was?
Well, growing up, I was always into like combat sports, like literally just watching Mike Tyson fights with my dad and my brother and stuff like that. But also I was also a big fan of like just general YouTubers, like obviously the KSIs, the Joe Wellers, and this, that, and a third. And obviously when they started doing influencer boxing, and I was like, oh, like this is sort of combining two of my interests into one thing. And then ever since then, it just sort of I was really interested in. I was training as well. I started doing some grappling training when I was younger, on and off here and there. And then obviously recently with all this Twitter stuff and there was opportunities with smaller promotions like Breakout or Outcasts, I was training up to be able to get on one of those cards, and then this opportunity came to be a Misfits, and then ever since then it's just been it's been a bit mad, but yeah.
It's a big opportunity for someone to build their career out because obviously you're probably not what we a tradition. You're not going to become a traditional boxer, go and win world titles, but that's fine. And obviously, influencer boxing isn't supposed to be pro boxing. We're supposed to be separate to pro boxing, and a big opportunity like this has to be taken seriously. And I know that obviously from what you just said there, you are taking it seriously because this is a once in a lifetime opportunity and you can't blow it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's like I said, it still feels surreal that I'm even on there. I feel like some imposter syndrome or something, but I'm definitely trying to just do my best living in the moment, training every day, 2 times a day, um, except for Sundays, and
Yeah.
just getting as much promo done as I can. Really, I've got a lot of ideas coming up very very soon. A lot of unexpected stuff as well, so should be good.
This will be your boxing debut and your influencer boxing debut. How has training gone, and how excited are you to get in that ring in January in Leeds?
Yeah, it is my debut, and it's against a tough guy, a guy that's got a lot of experience over me. But I genuinely think that I have the weapons to get the fight dealt with. Honestly, I genuinely think I've got 100% faith that I will be winning on January 20th in Leeds. Um, yeah, I just think I can do it. I might sound delusional, probably because he's 8-0, you know, 2 belts, 15 plus years of experience and all that. People keep saying to me, but at the end of the day, I'm gonna make sure I handle him. I'm gonna make sure I handle business. And trust me, the fans will not be disappointed in what happens in that ring. Trust me.
I understand that. There's a lot riding on this because what I will say, you have built a bit of a reputation for yourself in the influencer boxing community. People either love you or they hate you. Will that affect you going into the ring?
Not really, not really, probably not, because thankfully, you know, I'm the first fight of the night. People are probably going to be just getting into the arena, getting their food, their drinks, so I won't have to worry about you know, thousands of fans screaming like the later on fighters on the card will. Um, but also I don't know if obviously I've never fought, but I feel like I'll be able to tune out the crowd anyway and any noise that is there, even if it is less people. I feel like I'll be able to tune it out. I think I have the compartmental I can compartmentalize that sort of thing pretty well.
Obviously, like the card got released a couple of days ago. We got the main event, and the day later or a couple of days later, we got the full card, and obviously you were on there. Have you had a chance to look at that card? And is there anybody that you're eyeing up potential fight that interests you?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't know how I'm gonna feel. This fight. My fight is at 135 pounds, and I'm really kind of not struggling to get down there, but yeah, I'm gonna be working my butt off, I guess, to get down there. So I don't know if I'm gonna be staying at this weight class, maybe going up to 145 for one or two fights that might be there, or even up to 55, because obviously that's the next listed weight class on Misfits. Um, So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of names out there. Possibly, a lot of people want to see me fight Fez Batista. A lot of people want to see me fight Halal Ham. A lot more probably people more interested in the Halal Ham fight. I am too. He's not on this card, but if I had to choose someone next, I would say it's Halal Ham for sure, or maybe even this might come out of left field because he hasn't been on there for a while. But definitely looking at Evil Hero as well potentially.
There's a lot of potential for the lighter weights. I know small spine Jay's flying on the card against Fox the G, and I think Jay is pretty lightweight as well, so that could potentially be there. But obviously, you want to start slow. You want to start off with someone who you'd want to start with someone who hasn't fought and has as much experience as you have to build yourself up there, because that's what the pros do as well. They build their way up to the world champions. But you have gone against someone. You're going against someone who's, like you said, 8-0, two belts, has way more experience than you. So would you say there's any ounce of fear going into your fight against Joey?
Not any different kind of fear than would be in my heart and the head going into any other fight. For me, in my head, every fight is the same risks. Um, but the thing that makes me really, really comfortable is that he's going in there with more risks. I'm coming down in weight. I'm going to be stronger than him. I'm going to be hitting harder than him. And I don't know if he's going to be able to take what I can bring. Obviously, all respect to him. There's nothing, definitely nothing personal between me and him. He's just in between what I'm trying to get started here on Misfits. But all respect to him. He's, he's like you said, he's a decorated boxer and everything. So all respect to him for that. But I'm gonna definitely be doing everything in my power to make that night as hard as it is, as hard as I can for him.
I can respect someone who has the balls to get in there with someone who has way more experience than them, because at the end of the day, you're taking it's an opportunity that will come up maybe once or twice in your life, and if you take that chance, then but you come up short, like at the end of the day, like you did what no any other man probably wouldn't do in that situation. So you had the balls to do it. It's like with pro boxing, Ryan Garcia against Tank Davis. There was a lot riding on that fight. He came out, he lost, but at the end of the day, he took the risk and lost his zero searching for greatness. Like with Bud Crawford and Errol Spence. Errol Spence was the same position as Ryan Garcia. Went in there, lost his zero, but went chasing for greatness, which is something that a lot of fighters nowadays just aren't gonna risk doing. We've seen with Tyson Fury not fighting fucking Dillian White and Derek Chisora and now Francis Ngannou. By the way, he shouldn't have a zero anymore. Ngannou should have won that fight. But at the end of the day, like you just chase your dreams, chase your opportunities, and that's probably what I'd say to most pro boxers as well. Don't let these opportunities pass you by because they're not going to be there forever. What would you say about that as well?
I mean, I agree, man. I agree. I mean, like you said, it's only gonna come once or maybe twice in your life. And I had a sort of situation back in Telford, a lot of people might remember, where I sort of slightly offered something with a lead, and it didn't come to fruition for a multitude of reasons. I was to blame as well for some of that. And I don't want to feel like I felt after that ever again, like regretful basically after missing out on an opportunity, like you said. So I'm not gonna lie, I genuinely would have taken any fight they offered me. I honestly would. If they would have said, "Yo, I'm a small guy. I'm 5'4", 5'5", around 140, 150 pounds." If they would have said, "Yo, you're fighting Hassim," I would have been like, "Let's go. I'm doing it. I'm getting my shot on Misfits." They would have said, "Greg Hardy." I would have said, "Let's go. Let's do it. I'm getting my shot on Misfits." It wouldn't have mattered to me. I would have just taken whatever is given to me because beggars can't be choosers, and everyone knows I'm a beggar.
I do agree with that. I know that if Mams Taylor offered me the chance to commentate on one of those cards, obviously I wouldn't fight on them, but I'd love to do commentary or be an interviewer. Like if they offered me the chance to like commentate on this card, I'd take the opportunity in a heartbeat. Like it's a big chance, and I want to expand my opportunities out, and I can respect anybody who wants to do that. My next question, though, is back to pro boxing. In pro boxing, we have the mega fights like Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury, which aren't happening right now for a multitude of reasons. Like with Tyson Fury versus Alexander Usyk, that only got signed a couple months ago after negotiations apparently failed between the two of them. And our equivalent of that kind of situation is obviously KSI versus Jake Paul. Who would you say wins that fight, and in what fashion would it end in?
I mean, that fight happening even depends on the weight, and I think that the result of that fight depends on the weight as well. Um, Obviously, Jake Paul's last fight was at 200 pounds. If KSI was to fight Jake Paul at 200 pounds, I do think it would go pretty differently because that's nowhere near KSI's natural best fighting weight. KSI's best natural fighting weight is about 175 around from what he said. So, I mean, if they meet in the middle somewhere around like 180, 181, 182, then I would still give that edge to KSI. To be fair, I do think that Jake doesn't deal well with people coming forward with pressure, with combinations as well. We saw that in the Tommy fight. And I think KSI has the ability to put together powerful combinations that will give Jake trouble that he hasn't really had to deal with before in the ring.
I'd have to agree with that. Obviously, a lot of people are going to say, "Oh, Jake has more experience. He's a better record. Like he's bigger, yada yada yada." But let me just point this out really quickly. Obviously, I'm probably going to get slated for saying this, but did anybody really believe that Andy Ruiz was going to go in there and knock down Anthony Joshua? Nobody could have predicted that. And that's the beauty of boxing, be it pro boxing, amateur boxing, or influencer boxing. Anything can happen. It's what makes this sport so special is the fact that you can say that this person's going to win this fight easily. You can say this person's going to get themselves knocked out. But at the end of the day, it's what happens in that ring is where we find the truth. And the truth in Madison Square Garden, Anthony Joshua versus Andy Ruiz was the better man that night. That's why he left with the belts. And in the rematch, AJ came back, took the belts back, and proved that he's the man. It's the same in influencer boxing. Nobody predicted that KSI could go in there with Tommy Fury and hang with him, but there's so much controversy about the fact that KSI got robbed that people saying that he should have won that fight when Tommy is supposed to be the pro boxer with over 15 years of experience. That's what makes this so special. And I imagine this is probably what you're going to be thinking because you're going in this with someone who is a lot more experienced than you. So you gotta think anything can happen in that ring.
Yeah, no, literally, it's pretty similar thing. Obviously, you know, I'm the underdog coming in here. I checked on Tapology. You can check like the odds makers and stuff. 75% of people think that Joey Knight's gonna win, which is a fair opinion. It's a fair opinion when you educate yourself on each of our background. Obviously, I am the underdog. A lot of people said I'm being fed to this guy, and I probably am. I'm not delusional. I'll accept those facts, but the facts is that no one really knows anything about me. No one's seen me fight, and no one's seen what I can bring to the table. So I'm excited to show people what they don't know yet.
I can respect that. But I got my last question. I want you to be like in a more first person perspective. I want you to look at your camera, and I want you to say, have you got any final words to your opponent, Joey, that you'd like to get off your chest right now?
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell them, look, literally like this. Like, listen, Joey, it's nothing personal. Me and you, we're getting in this fight. You know, it's both our big shot of misfits. So I'll literally leave it like this. It's nothing personal between me and you, but you're in the way of what I'm trying to do. I'm in the way of what you're trying to do. So we're gonna go in there and we're gonna try and beat each other up 100% as bad as we can, and the better man will win. It's that simple.
Okay, then. Thank you everybody for watching at the Alpha Plug channel. Have you got any last words you want to say most?
Yeah, I do. I just want to thank I want to thank you guys for letting me come on here and do the interview as well. I want to thank Misfits and Mams Taylor for having me on there as well, the Silent Bros and everything like that, and the Zone. And I will lastly, I want to thank God for making me get through everything I've been through in the past year and be able to power through to accept this opportunity of Misfits because it's still, like I said, it still feels surreal, man. It's amazing stuff. So I want to say thank you to all those people.
Thank you most. All our socials will be in the description below at Alpha Plug. And until next time, keep plugged in.